The courtroom buzzed with hushed murmurs as the judge's gavel struck, calling the session to order. The case of Miguel Ángel Suárez Morales, labeled the child killer by the media, had captivated the nation. Whispers of new evidence had drawn an unusually large crowd, including reporters hungry for the next shocking headline. Judge Ramirez adjusted his glasses and looked over the docket with a grim expression. Seated at the defense table, Miguel sat motionless, his hands clasped tightly in his lap. His eyes darted nervously toward the entrance every time the door creaked. Across the aisle, his parents, Elena and Carlos Suárez, watched anxiously, their faces etched with worry. Their youngest daughter, Maria José, was under police protection, a precaution they never thought they'd need. "The defense has new evidence to present," Attorney Mendoza announced, rising to address the court. "We request permission for Dr. Patricia Rojas to testify." "Proceed," Judge Ramirez replied, his tone heavy with curiosity. Dr. Rojas, a seasoned child psychologist, approached the stand, her presence exuding calm authority. After being sworn in, she began, "In recent weeks, I've observed Miguel closely. His behavior patterns suggest a trauma far more complex than initially understood. Could you elaborate?" Mendoza prompted. Dr. Rojas held up a series of drawings. These were created by Miguel during therapy sessions. They consistently depict a menacing figure looming over a crib and a smaller figure watching from the shadows. She paused, letting the weight of her words settle over the courtroom. "These images are not the work of a perpetrator, but of a witness." A ripple of shock spread through the room. Elena gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. Carlos tightened his grip on the courtroom bench, his knuckles white. The prosecutor, Rosales, leapt to his feet. "Objection. Speculation. Overruled," the judge said firmly. "Continue, Dr. Rojas." "Miguel has been writing as well," Dr. Rojas continued. "Initially, his notes said, 'I couldn't stop you,' but recently, the phrasing changed to 'I couldn't stop him.' This shift, combined with his physical reactions to certain individuals, paints a chilling picture." At that moment, the doors burst open. Roberto Morales, Miguel's uncle, stormed in, his face flushed with agitation. "Sorry I'm late," he announced, his voice cutting through the tension. Miguel's reaction was immediate. He began to tremble violently, his small frame folding into itself as though trying to disappear. "Your Honor," Dr. Rojas interjected, her voice urgent, "Miguel's reaction is exactly what I've been documenting. His fear of his uncle is undeniable." Judge Ramirez's eyes narrowed. "Mr. Morales, sit down. Court officers, keep an eye on him." Roberto's face paled, but he complied, sinking into a chair. Dr. Rojas turned back to Miguel. "Miguel," she said softly, "do you feel ready to tell us what happened?" The boy hesitated, his eyes darting between his parents and his uncle. Finally, in a voice barely above a whisper, he said, "I tried to protect her. But he was too strong." "Who, Miguel?" the judge asked gently. "Who was too strong?" Miguel's gaze locked on Roberto. "Him," he said, his voice trembling but resolute. "Uncle Roberto." Chaos erupted. Elena screamed, clutching Carlos as sobs racked her body. Roberto shot to his feet, shouting, "He's lying. This is absurd." Officers moved to restrain him as the judge slammed his gavel repeatedly. "Order in the court," Judge Ramirez demanded. "Mr. Morales, sit down or you'll be removed." As Roberto was subdued, Miguel's voice cut through the noise. "That night, I saw him go into Anna María'n's room. I tried to stop him, but he pushed me away. When he left, she wasn't breathing." Tears streamed down the boy's face. "I tried to help her, but I didn't know how." Elena's wail echoed in the courtroom. "No. No, not my baby." The judge rubbed his temples, his expression a mixture of sorrow and fury. "Officers, take Mr. Morales into custody." Prosecutor Rosales, begin an immediate investigation. As Roberto was dragged away, his protests grew desperate. "This is a mistake. I was helping them. I loved those kids." The courtroom emptied slowly, leaving behind a heavy silence. In the following days, investigators uncovered damning evidence. Photos, videos, and records tying Roberto to other heinous crimes. The case expanded, implicating him in a broader network of abuse. Back at home, the Suarez family began the painful process of healing. Miguel attended therapy regularly, finding solace in drawing and speaking openly for the first time in months. One afternoon, he showed his mother a new picture, a family standing together under a bright sun. "Can I hang this in Maria Jose's room?" he asked shyly. Elena's heart swelled. "Of course, mi amor. Wherever you'd like." Miguel looked at her, his eyes brimming with a newfound determination. "I want to help other kids, Mom. So they don't have to be afraid like I was." Elena hugged him tightly, her tears a mix of pride and sorrow. "You're so brave, my love. Anna Maria would be so proud of you." The truth had finally emerged, shattering their lives but freeing them from the shadows. Though the path ahead was uncertain, one thing was clear. Miguel's voice, once silenced by fear, had become a beacon of hope.